Hi guys, welcome to the first module. We'll be talking about the routine and the training splits. This is really important, so take notes. Let's see. We've already talked about our two main training styles, which is reverse pyramid training style and rest pause. So this is just a mini review for you guys. For reverse pyramid style, we'll do 3 sets of 4 to 6, 6 to 8 to 8 to 10 reps. This style is mainly reserved for compound lifts that target bigger muscle groups, such as the back or chest, with around 2 to 3 minutes of rest in between. Right, we'll go heavy for these lifts. You should reduce the weight by 10% when you move down in sets, and you should prioritize form for maximum strength gain and to have minimum injuries. And for rest pause, the first set is quite a lot. You do 12 to 15 reps, right? Pretty much to failure. And for the next 4 sets, you do about 4 to 6 reps each. I say these lighter burn focused lifts that targets smaller muscle groups such as your side delts and biceps. The goal here is to lift relatively light compared to reverse pyramid training style and to chase the burn feeling. You should do all these sets with the same weight. Form is also crucial. Focus on being slow over throwing the weights around for great gains. That's what I recommend. Let's see here. So this should be your progression starting off. For the first 2 to 3 weeks of this program, your goal is to not push very hard. Rather, you should try to find which weights are challenging for you, but you can still do them without compromising your form. Try to go light at first on your compound lifts and to get a grip on the form. If you're aiming for big range of motion or being very intentional with your movement. Try to avoid checking the weights around, right? We'll go into it deeper in a later part. But even for rest pause training style, find the weights where you can comfortably do high reps with that will still give you a good burn. Also take this time to get used to the gym and like where all the equipment is. This is especially useful during the busy times of the day. My motto has always been to just lift heavy and get out of there, right? You don't need to spend too much time in the gym. Alright, let's talk a little bit about how you should progress after those 2 to 3 weeks. At this point, you should start to increase the weight on your compound lifts. If you eat and train right as a beginner, you should start making linear progress with your lifts. Every time the last weight felt easy to do for you, only then should you add more weight. These are for compound lifts, so when it gets too easy for you, you should add 2.5 pounds on each side of the bar. Or, if that's not an option, try 5 pounds. You might have to adjust for it a little bit because it might be too heavy. But yeah, every time you max out the sets and the weight feels easy to do, only then should you add more weight. Really important, guys. Really important. Don't be worried if you're not progressing as fast as I've laid out here, though. I'd rather have you do good form with light weights than bad form with heavy weights, right? It's important. When in doubt, when in doubt, just prioritize sleep and diet, because then you should be able to live more next week. How to get over plateaus with weight progression. In my experience, you will only encounter plateaus later down the line in your lifting journey. Plateaus when you've been stuck on the same weights for weeks upon weeks without being able to progress further. When this happens, the answer is usually just to eat more and to prioritize sleeping and rest. And you should also stretch before and after a workout. You follow those principles. Focus on maxing out your lighter sets every week, even if your heavy set stays the same. So that's key. Right, so here's an illustration. So for reverse pyramid training style, for the first week. For the first set, you can do 3 reps. Second set, you do 6 reps. And third set, you do 8 reps. For the following week, even if you can't do more on your first set, don't focus on that, right? Focus on your second and third sets and try to max them out. If you couple that with eating and resting properly, you should be able to progress on your first set the following week. And here's just how to progress with plateaus for rest pause. It's pretty much the same thing with reverse pyramid. For the first set, you can do 13 reps. Try to max out all the other sets in the following week, right? And once you do, you should add 2.5 to 5 pounds to the weight when you have maxed out your sets. Don't be discouraged though when you don't progress as much as for reverse pyramid lifts, because the weights are lighter, right? So the amount of weight you add will feel much heavier than for compounds. Alright, really important. Sleeping and stretching will help you during the recovery process, which is just as crucial as the workouts themselves, right? For sleep, try to aim for 8 hours of sleep or 2 hours of REM sleep. To be honest, it is rather difficult to measure these things since you don't know when you actually fall asleep. So I go by how you feel when you wake up. Stretching. Stretching will reduce strain and tension on your muscles, especially after a workout. Stretch before and after a workout to warm up or reduce tension. Since we're only going to the gym 3 times a week and lifting heavy, rest is key to not getting injured and for maximizing your growth. So, resting is just as important as the workout. Getting used to soreness. As a beginner, I understand you will feel extremely sore for the first couple of weeks as your body is not used to the new stimulus from weight training. Proper rest and dieting will reduce the pain somewhat, but you will start feeling less sore as your body adjusts your stress. So, P.S. Just a little thing to keep in mind, leg day might disable you for a little bit. Speaking from experience. Alright. This is an important one. The workout splits. What is it? This is the split that I'm using to get big, right? This is the split I've been following for the past 5 months to grow a ton of muscle mass while getting leaner at the same time. You can only be in the gym for 3 days out of the week for this split. So we're going to mainly focus on compound lifts and getting stronger with those. We'll be hitting arms and shoulders every workout since they recover faster than bigger muscles such as the legs and the back. You work on them well, they'll create an illusion of a crazy V-taper. This split does not prioritize the legs for size, but rather for toning. Want toned legs with a insane upper body, right? Point is to lift heavy, and this is the schedule you should have. You should spread the routine in a way so that there's 1 rest day in between each workout. Then you will have 2 days of rest before the next cycle. So what does this look like? Well, for the first day, you should do your workout on Monday. Then you take a rest day. Then you do second workout on Wednesday, another rest day, and then you do your final workout on Friday. Then you will take a 2-day break before going back to the start of the routine. If this schedule doesn't work for you, it's okay. You can also start it on Tuesday, then go on Thursday and Saturday, right? Just pick the schedule that works best for your needs. Important thing is you should have rest days in between each workout, because having rest days will allow us to exert maximum effort during the few days that we do train, right? Here's the equation. Maximum effort plus good form equals maximum muscle growth. That's just it. And okay, let's talk about it. I call it I don't recall. This is inspired from someone else, but they refer to it as the 3-day ABC split. For the first day, we are mainly focusing on chest, right? Go heavy on those with compound lifts, and we're just focusing a little bit on your arms and shoulders, right? So for chest, we'll do mainly incline and barbell bench to focus on the chest area. I'd say you should prioritize doing the incline bench because it'll create a better muscle composition than focusing on barbell bench. So just focus on incline and you look good, right? We have tricep row push down on this day and dumbbell curls to target the biceps. And then we also have ladder raises and single arm cable rear delt flies. These are for your shoulders, and we'll basically do 4 of these every single day. And for day 2, which is day B, we are focusing mainly on the lower back and the leg, but also some arms and shoulders. The notable compound lifts here are the squats, the Roman deadlifts. You can do deadlifts if you don't like doing RDLs. And then we also have weighted dips. This day is actually kind of special because you have 1, 2, 3, 3 compound lifts. Pretty heavy day, right? And of course, we also focus on your arms with dumbbell hammer curls and tricep row push down. The only reason why we are changing from normal dumbbell curls to hammer curls is to just have a little bit more variety with our lifts, right? And finally, for C, day C, we're focusing heavily on shoulders and the upper back. With the overhead shoulder press, targets your front delts really well, and also weighted pull-ups. Yep. Oh, my bad. This should be a rest pause. Your barbell / dumbbell rows should be rest pause, not reverse pyramid training style. And then the reason why we don't have tricep row push down on day 3 is because we already targeted it a lot on day 2 with our weighted dips. So that's the split for you. Go heavy. That's the main idea. All right. That's the routine done. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.